So, this is the Specialized Roubaix SL8 Comp road bike, and I believe this is the king of comfortable endurance road bikes. So hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. Of course, in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this Specialized Roubaix SL8 bike, and also I will tell you the main likes and dislikes and why I believe this is still the king of comfortable road bikes. So, Specialized Roubaix SL8 Comp with a retail price of $3,999 hard-earned US dollars. It's definitely not the cheap bike, but with Specialized, you always pay a bit of premium for their brand name and the quality of Specialized bikes. So who is this bike for? So you see, Specialized Roubaix platform is all about endurance road bikes. So if you are looking for a comfortable bike ride, you are spending long days in the saddle, then definitely Specialized Roubaix platform is the bike for you. Of course, Specialized Roubaix has a huge tradition and heritage in making, endurance road bikes, so they definitely know what they are doing in this instance. Specifically for this price range of $4,000 US dollars, you have two paint schemes on offer. One is this beautiful classic, I would almost call it like a pearl white paint scheme, and then you also have this what Specialized calls like a deep lake metallic green paint scheme. Both of these paint schemes are beautiful in my opinion, and definitely I am glad that Specialized is offering two paint schemes on this bike, because after all you are paying $4,000 US dollars retail price. So let's dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what will you get for your hard-earned money. And let's kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So you see, this frame is what Specialized calls their 10R carbon fiber frame, and we also have the Specialized carbon fiber fork. So this frame has 12mm through axles both front and the back, and also we have a threaded bottom bracket of this frame. As you can see, all the cables are internally routed in this frame, and also as you can see, there is a bit of aerodynamically optimized parts, specifically at the front of the bike where the head tube is, and also I can point out to the bit of dropped seat stays and this bit of aerodynamically optimized part at the seat post. But generally this is not the point of this bike. The point is comfort and long days in the saddle. Of course, with Specialized carbon fiber frames, you will get the lifetime warranty, which is absolutely excellent. And as I say, when it comes to some kind of quality control, Specialized frames and forks are usually, top notch, and I rarely hear any complaints about, Specialized carbon fiber frames and the forks. So all in, absolutely no complaints here in my opinion when it comes to this specific carbon fiber frame and carbon fiber fork. I have to mention here that the main secret sauce of this bike is what Specialized would call their future shock technology. So this is, you see, inside the head tube, Specialized has mounted their future shock, what they're called. So it is a closed sealed unit where basically it allows you for the handlebar and the stem to move vertically 20 millimeters, so a little shock in the front of the bike. It is not serviceable, and if there are any problems with this shock, it will have to be replaced. And as I can see, the prices can be something around maybe even $400 or $500 US dollars to replace this future shock 3.2 as they call it in this latest iteration. But this is definitely the secret sauce of this bike, and this solution is definitely stunning. I haven't heard these future shocks failing, even, people using them for like 5-7 years, they are still working perfectly fine. So I'm not expecting any, failure rate on these future shocks, but just be aware that if there is any problem, this unit, a sealed unit, has to be totally replaced. There is no kind of servicing of this unit. But because of that, definitely a secret sauce of this bike, and it allows you 20 millimeters of movement of the handlebar and the stem up and down, and definitely is going to soak up many road bumps. This is why I still consider, this bike absolute king when it comes to comfortable bike ride. Also, I have to mention here the carbon fiber S-Works seat post. They call it the pavé seat post, and this seat post is also very flexible and really absorbs a lot of road bumps, and Specialized has designed it specifically to be as comfortable as possible. The saddle on the bike is, in my opinion, a superb body geometry saddle from Specialized. I like these body geometry saddles, have used them personally, and I think Specialized has done a great job with these body geometry saddles. If by some instance you don't like this saddle, it's going to be very easy to replace it or upgrade in the future, because nothing is proprietary here. Moving on to the handlebar and the stem. Again, excellent solution here. This is aluminum pieces, handlebar and the stem, separate pieces. Again, nothing proprietary here. Very easy to adjust your position, very easy to basically change any parts in the future. And I have to mention here that this handlebar, as you can see, has a bit of, flare up. So it's a bit kind of a riser handlebar. I personally believe this is a very good solution, just puts you in a bit more comfortable position, but maybe some people won't like this riser bar. Also, I have to mention here that this future shock on the Specialized Roubaix Comp version, as I can see, doesn't come with the lockout on the future shock. As I'm aware, some of the higher versions of the bike, more expensive, will come with the lockout feature on this future shock. So just keep that in mind. If you really want that feature, it seems to me you will have to go up the food chain of this bike. Okay, moving on to the group set of this bike. So what are you getting here? So this is the full Shimano 105 Di2 electronic group set. In my opinion, absolutely excellent, proper working horse when it comes to electronic group sets from Shimano. It is a 12-speed group set, so shifters, front mech, rear mech, everything, Shimano 105 Di2 group set. Also, they didn't cut corners on the crankset. Shimano 105 double, chain rings at the front. This is 50-34 chain rings at the front, using the Shimano 105 12-speed chain, and also using the Shimano 105 cassette, and this is the beautiful 1136 huge range cassette. So definitely easy to climb any steep mountains and easy to spend a lot of days in the saddle of this very comfortable bike. So top notch here, Shimano 105 Di2, absolutely no complaints from me. Also, when you look at the braking system on the bike, so Shimano 105 hydraulic disc brakes both front and back, and I am glad here that both front we have a 160mm braking rotor, and at the back we also have a 160mm braking rotor. This is a must-have in my opinion, because with these 160mm braking rotors you are getting an excellent heat dissipation, excellent stopping power, and this is exactly what you want on any type of the road bike. I have to mention here that when you look at the hydraulic cables from the hydraulic disc brakes, they are, maybe they look a bit untidy, but I think this is perfectly fine, because, okay, they will be routed internally through the frame set, and since they are exposed here, I wouldn't be so worried about, the aerodynamics of this bike. This is not the whole point of this bike, but it will allow you easier servicing if you ever need to, do any replacement, bleeding of the brakes or anything, or your mechanic has to do it. This is going to be a very nice and neat solution, so definitely a plus in my opinion. Okay, moving on to the wheel set and the tires on this bike. So what are you getting? So you see, this wheel set is the DT Swiss G540 aluminium wheel set. It is paired with the Specialized own hubs, front and back, so seal cartridge bearing hubs, and also these spokes, classical aluminium DT Swiss spokes. Listen, I'm not expecting anything special from this very simple DT Swiss wheel set. It is probably going to be, something like 2,000 grams or even maybe 2,200 grams. Pretty classical, okay wheel set out of the box. Internal rim width is, I believe, 24 millimeters, so just fine wheel set. If you really want anything more advanced, you will definitely have to upgrade on your own some wheel set. If you want some carbon fiber wheel set, you will easily spend $1,000 buying a decent carbon fiber wheel set. So it is a bit of cost cutting in this instance, but this is kind of a standard practice on a bunch of manufacturers, that they will just give you very simple, aluminium wheel set on these types of endurance road bikes. The tires are the Specialized S-Works tires, 32 millimeter tires, both front and the back. And also keep in mind that this frame and the fork can accept 40 millimeter tires, both front and the back. So maybe in the future, I would definitely advise you to, upgrade the tires, buy a bit wider, 34 millimeter tires, 38 millimeter tires, just because you will get, more air volume inside the tire and even smoother bike ride. This tire on the bike, the wheel set, as it is on the bike, it is a tubeless ready wheel set, but these tires are set up with the tubes. So in the future, if you are moving to the tubeless tires, definitely, you will have to, provide your own tubeless valves, tubeless sealant, or go to your bike shop. So they will definitely set it up for you. I wish that Specialized has set this bike out of the box tubeless. I think it would be much more, appropriate to these times. But okay, they've went with the inner tubes as it is out of the box on this bike. One of the kind of downsides that I can think of is that this bike doesn't come with the down tube storage. I would expect on these types of endurance road bikes that Specialized would incorporate a down tube storage, but it is what it is. This one doesn't have it. Maybe in the next iteration they will, insert a down tube storage. Also, as another maybe dislike, I can mention that because of this future shock at the front of the bike, which gives it, of course, an unbelievable comfortable ride, there is a possibility that the handling of the bike might be a little bit slower than, let's say, if you are using the Specialized Tarmac SL8 as a comparison. But again, it wouldn't bother me, because the whole point of this bike is a comfortable bike ride, smooth bike ride, as much as possible. Except from that, I think still this is the king and the measuring stick when it comes to comfortable endurance road bikes, and I just don't see currently anything on the market that can rival, the comfortable endurance road bike as this Specialized Roubaix SL8. Of course, you are paying the price for that at $4,000, but then again, you have to negotiate this price with your local bike dealer, and definitely if you behave nice and you are nice, you should definitely get some discount on this Specialized Roubaix SL8 Comp. As I'm saying, definitely if you are looking for a comfortable endurance road bike, this would be my first port of call, and definitely still, in my opinion, the king of comfortable endurance road bikes.